Doing all right. I should be live, and today is Christmas, 25th of December. I'm still in India, Goa, and it's my last day here in India. Then I'll be leaving tonight, going to Mumbai, and then from there flying to Istanbul, and then back home in Italy. And it's been 18 days so far in India, and it's my second time I actually come here, so I wasn't exactly surprised. Although the country is so huge, there's always something to discover. And also, as a person told me 4 days ago, and I'll speak about this person, India is not really a nation, but rather a civilization. So there really is so much to see every basically 10 kilometers. You just, you know, you can walk away and enter another culture, basically from a starting point. But anyway, digressing here. So, just a live feed before I leave. It's like a wrap up, I guess, of all this experience. I was here in Goa in Panjai, and I hope the pronunciation is correct, to attend this, which is Serendipity, um, a multi arts festival. It covers everything from theater to dance to food to music to everything that is basically art. And also before that, I was at another festival, which is IPAR 2024, which was in the city of Pune, south of Mumbai, in the state of Maharashtra. I'm not gonna get this right, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, it was a fantastic 18 days and two different festivals. One IPAR, which is like it feels like a family in a way, and it was the second time I was there. Really focused on theater. At time I would say even experimental theater and so on. Whereas the other one, it's a huge festival that has the backing of an important Indian entrepreneur and who really wants to invest in the arts. And the second time in Pune was very interesting for me because I just realized how important the city is. And I gotta tell you the truth, before I arrived in India the first time, I just didn't know about Pune at all. But it seems like a very important city. It has quite quite an important university infrastructure. There's several universities, whether private and public, and so on and so forth. And also you can feel the presence of far away, but yet near, of Mumbai in a way. So you got lots of people maybe come to Pune to study as university students who are actually based in Mumbai and so on and so forth. And the festival was great. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it feels like family because what you feel it really is the passion of all these people organizing this festival, especially the two people who actually took the lead in creating it, which is one of them is a woman called Aditi, and the other one is a man called Pradar. And once again, I hope I get the names right, but I think I am. And and all of this experience really made me to want to come back, probably next winter, so December to January. Also because the weather here is just so good, and I don't know if you noticed, but I am sweating because it's very, very hot in Goa today, just very hot. So I just wonder how hot it gets in the summertime. Must be, for my taste, almost unbearable. But anyway, and the second festival is Serendipity. So I'm gonna talk about this festival just a bit because it's huge and it's part of a much greater project in a way that goes way beyond Goa. As I said, it's a multi-arts festival, so there's theater, but there's like dance, music, food, workshops, and so on and so forth. And I just remind you, I'm reviewing these shows I'm watching in at IPAR, sorry, I'm mispronouncing it, at IPA and Serendipity, and for our website, which is fringereview.co.uk. And I reviewed two shows so far at IPA and two shows at Serendipity. and I still have to review another two, which I watched, but I still couldn't find time to write. Also because it was just so hot and so much to see in Goa. And finally, I'm gonna write a post about the festival, and probably this is gonna be embedded in the post which I'm going to write. But let me tell you about this festival. So basically, this festival was created in 2016 by an important Indian entrepreneur. His name is Sunil Kant Munjal, and I'm reading this, who is the chairman of Hero Enterprise. I'm reading this because I want to make sure I get the name right. And overall, it was a nice surprise. I mean, I've been to many, many festivals in my life, countless, but this festival is probably the first I see in my life, which kind of mixes theater with food. I'm gonna focus this on food because yes, there are huge events such as Avignon off and Edinburgh, the Edinburgh Fringe and so on, but they kind of stick to music and theater, music, dance, theater, and so on. But it's the first time in my life I see something related to food, and I think this is something interesting for a number of reasons. Now, we'll not dwell into much into that too much because this vlog is mostly about theater, but certainly, if I think about Italy, for example, that could be an attractive proposition. I'm saying this because the person who actually created the festival is thinking to take it abroad in a way, not as a carbon copy of what is happening here, but rather in the with the aim of creating a bridge between different cultures. So, as far as I understand, this person, and I gotta see the name, sorry, and all the stuff of the festival. So I'll go with the name again, Sunil Kant Munjal. eh, will try to create basically a branch of Serendipity in Birmingham, UK. So that'd be interesting. But if such a proposition were made in Italy, for example, I think the connection between food and arts, for obvious reasons, would be very attractive because if we're speaking about food, basically everything which has to do with food in India is complementary to what we do in Italy. So, India has got an enormous tea culture. Italy has got enormous coffee culture. Just give you an example. So really, there's no conflict. Italy has enormous wine industry, and India, as far as I can see, is more beer or gin or liquors and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think the two of them are very compatible. But digressing here. So, but what really kind of shocked me was to see that a big Indian entrepreneur basically invested energy, money, and time in culture, and that's something usually that you don't see, at least in Italy. I mean, if somebody makes a lot of money in Italy, becomes a billionaire, first thing they want to do is to buy a football team. I detest football, by the way, and so it was very pleasant to see somebody who actually the vision to create something that has to do with the arts. And that kind of shows, I think, a different taste in Indian culture in general, and also, yeah, as opposed to the West, and also shows you, it kind of reminds me of Renaissance Italy, the Medici family. I mean, if you go to Italy, you see these beautiful works of art. It's because you had these wealthy families who actually, in order to keep their name famous in eternity, or not to be unknown with the passage of time, actually invested in the arts. So, if we hadn't had these families, probably, culture would be lacking a lot in our country. And so that's the story. So, you call that person a mecenate, if I'm not mistaken, and to see a Renaissance man in 2024 is kind of odd because you don't see them that much. I mean, look at big entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, for example. I mean, they don't invest in the arts at all. All they're looking for really is power. That's my take. Recognition and power. And to see somebody who goes beyond his ego and creates something like this, it really was quite something. Anyway, just to give you an idea what is happening. So the festival was born in 2016. It's huge. It really is big. In this edition, there were like 1,800 artists, I think, 200 projects. It's in this beautiful setting, which is Goa, which is like a beautiful place to spend your holidays in December, January. Warm, nice food, incredible people, and so on and so forth. But really, what really impressed me is another project that this person and the team behind this person, it's never about a person, it's always about a team, is actually carrying carrying out. And basically, this project is called The Bridge, which is going to. Well, I gotta explain what the bridge is. Anyway, this project is called The Bridge, which is actually happening right now in Delhi, New Delhi. So I'm just very curious about this. Basically, what the team of Serendipity is doing is creating this in New Delhi, this huge building, which has a budgeted cost of $51 million, and which is going to be something like a multi-art center made of different buildings, and quite innovative in its construction. Is going to be built near the airport of New Delhi. I don't know if New Delhi has several airports, but anyway, near one airport. I probably imagine the biggest one, and basically it's a whole complex which is gonna be divided into four stories, four floors, but three of the floors will be underground, and that's because basically, given the fact that the whole center is gonna be near the airport, the construction cannot be too high, otherwise it would be dangerous for the planes and so on and so forth. So basically, three stories are going to be underground, and the old building is going to be built in a sort of science fiction style. I mean, just to give you an idea, it's been built to last 500 years, which is a long time. And taking as example the buildings that were built during, the Middle Ages or Italy's Renaissance and so on, made of stone, that's which lasted a lifetime. They're still on today, and it's gonna be when running, once it's built, zero carbon emission and zero water waste or something like that, and it's gonna host a number of startups, artistic startups, because the idea behind it is everybody knows about business startups, but why? And that was the take of Sunil, and I'm looking at the name again. Sorry, yeah, Sunil Kant Munjal. So Munjal, sorry. The idea was, okay, everybody knows about business startups. Why can't we do artistic startups? So basically, the whole structure is going to be dedicated to 200 artistic startups. And so as you can see, something really big. You got the festival here in Goa, you got what is going on, in New Delhi, and also the idea of creating cultural bridges by branching the festival out in other countries. In this case, was Birmingham, UK. But like I said, it's a proposition I think would be very attractive for Italy as well. So I don't know. It kind of rang a bell. I'm saying this because I run a festival as well for 3 years, physical festival, which was dedicated to physical theater in the north of Italy. So I know how difficult it is to organize a festival. And at the same time, I felt like a vibration. My idea, basically, in my case, the festival was dedicated to non-verbal theater. That is to say, universal shows. So, this is a wrap up of basically what happened during these 18 days. It's the last day here for me, and definitely want to come back in India. I discovered that there are like 300 theater festivals here in India or something like that. It was, you go to festivals to perform sometimes, and I did perform in Pune. But really, I personally like to watch shows and network and get to know as many people as possible because, especially if you live in a small village like I do, you kind of feel isolated, and suddenly you are in this place where everybody is like you, either performing or being an artist or whatever. So it's a good chance to just network and not feel isolated, not feel alone in a way. A final note: I'm gonna leave from here with lots of ideas about my future shows. One thing which is good, I think, when you go watch festivals and shows and so on, you absorb so much that then if you're working on a project, you're bound to be inspired by whatever you see. And in the case of India, certainly what has inspired has inspired me a lot was Indian dance in all its genres, and I just discovered there's like so many genres of Indian dance. Uh, that doesn't mean that necessarily you're gonna build a show, in my case, of which is about India. But what I'm saying, you can use those movements and translate them into another show. And one of the videos I previously shot was in Berlin. I told you about this idea, taken from a book, inspired by a book. It's going to be different. About the conquest of Berlin by Russian troops in 1945. And I think they're going to put some Indian dance in it, but I'll show you later on when we're gonna build this show. And also another thing that I'm living with is this awareness of about deaf audiences. I've been since I did Avignon this summer. I've been thinking about my next non-verbal physical comedy show, and I would like it to be something dedicated to deaf audiences because what happened, I had accidentally just happened to have some deaf audience members in one of my shows, and I just realized that's another word, another reality. And really, what happened here, I watched a documentary, beautiful documentary. I had the pleasure to meet the director, and the title is If I Could Tell You, which is a documentary about set in New Delhi about this 19-year-old girl, I think she's 19, who is deaf from birth, and in friendship with this other girl who basically was born from was it is the daughter, sorry, of deaf parents. And so until she basically went to school, primary school, she had to deal with her parents and learn sign language since she was a child. And it's a beautiful documentary. I mean, it shows the difference between the two words. I'm gonna digress about this when and if, but it's probably gonna be a when I build this show. But really, it just the documentary just gave me so much, so many ideas, and also I met a poet who is deaf, who appears at the beginning and at the end of this documentary. He lives in Bangalore now, and so I may dedicate myself. Don't know when, but probably I'll dedicate some time in learning sign language. And in this case, I'll probably learn British Sign Language because I don't know. I would just there's something about the way deaf people communicate, which I find very intriguing. It's very physical, of course. It goes without saying, but also it's a whole word within itself because the way of communicating is completely different from using sounds, and that creates a complete different reality. But I'll stop here with that. I'll probably make a video about that when I start embarking on this project. So these are the two things I'm living with, apart from the company of the people here, the nice weather, the incredible food, and a deep culture. I mean, this is one of Asia's most deep and antique cultures. So, there's so much to discover, investigate, and so on. Okay, having said that, guys, Merry Christmas, everybody. I am off in about, what time is it? 12 hours, I guess. Yeah, 12 hours I'm off on my plane, and it's gonna be a long journey back home. It's gonna take me at least 24 hours. And wherever you are, enjoy Christmas. Bye bye. Ciao. Enjoy life.